This time on Irate Garage, we're going to make the charging system on this Farmall 706 a little less sucky. Let's get into it. So what do I mean by a little less sucky? Well, in the last video I did, I talked about how farmers just kind of did things to make shit work. That's the case here. Now, I will admit, I put this alternator on here, but somebody else did the conversion to an alternator. And I was in a hurry, just banged this together and did exactly what the previous guy did. And that was just put this bolt in. Now, that hole is threaded. So we're gonna have to take the alternator off, take that and drill it out. The other kind of like old farm guy type of thing that this has is this wire here. Largely this wire is perfectly fine, except that it is solid. This is a solid wire. It is not braided. It tends to break over time. I think I want to fix that and replace that wire. But first we gotta disconnect the battery before we make sparks where we don't want to make sparks. All right, it's up to it. Do. Oh, that's right, I'm supposed to do it. Shit. That's right. Suppose I could test the battery today too. Huh, maybe. See, solid wire, no bueno. I mean, it works, I guess. For a while anyway. In the last video I shot, I talked about how farmers just kind of did what it took to get the job done and get back in the field. So this job is kind of the embodiment of that idea. Just get it fixed, get it back in the field. Who cares if it's actually technically right? Got work to do and beer to drink. That belt out of the way. I have no idea how long that bolt is. Oh, the bolt is that long. All right, so here we are with this thing. Let's get that out of there. I mean, one thing's for sure, we're gonna find a bolt that's longer so it can actually thread into the block there. There we go. Yeah, grab that washer. In the dirt, like an old farmer would. So I'm going to clear out the hole in here, the threads. Now what you don't want to use is a tap. This is like a thread chaser or a checker or whatever you want to call it. And what these do is they reprofile the threads more than they do cut new ones. And that's what you want to use. It's kind of like a tap. If it bottoms out and you're fighting it, you want to back it off. This feels like it's actually threading in there just fine. It feels good. It's starting to tighten up. Back it out. These are great too if the threads just need to be cleaned a little bit. See all that crap on there? I did find a new bolt. Ooh, that tightens up right there. Might be too long. Try to run this down, see how far it'll go. Well, that's a hard stop right there. Well, it clears the belt. So if anything, I can use a couple of washers to space that out a little bit and make it work. All right, I have a 5/16 here. Hopefully that is correct. Safety squints engaged. There we go. There we go. That looks like a nice pretty tight belt. Tight enough. Good enough for who it's for. Oh, gotta be careful with that. This is my wife's tractor. Only the best for you, honey. All right, that's way better. This thing would flop around when it was running before. That's way better. Pulley alignment looks okay. Sweet, now we can move on to this wire. So in classic farmer fashion, that is just on the end of the bolt here for the battery. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Oh, that's lovely. Cool. Awesome. Great. Grand. Wonderful. I'm going to put that right there so I don't lose it. I'm going to get this wire out of here. Alrighty. There we go. So I got the wire laid out here. And all we're going to do is we're going to match it. Obviously. I mean, it's so simple. A caveman can do it. And I can too. So I'm just going to hook one in there. This wire I'm replacing it with is a little heavier. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little extra room too. A little extra length never hurt nobody. That's what she said. Anyway, so I'm just going to go boop. And then I'm going to go back maybe twice as far as I normally would. And what we're going to do, we're going to make an end like that. Only on the battery side, the end needs to be a little bigger. Now, if you look, can you see? If you look, see how the wire is a little too loose in there? I was looking at the screen, not what I was doing. See how it's kind of loose in there? So what we're going to do, what I do to deal with that, is I just fold the end over like so. Stick that on there. Now it's still loose, but it's tight enough. It's tighter than it was. Okay. Stick it in there like so. You want to crimp. You want to crimp into that. All right. That click was my wrist. Best not to worry about that. Give it a good tug. Make sure that it ain't going anywhere. Heat shrink to keep the angry pixies where they're supposed to be, and not getting distracted by anything that touches them. Good enough. All right, we go put it on the tractor. Oh, that's a little loose there. The wind is helpful. Whoop, burn the wire. Loaders make this kind of work oh so much fun. And I know you really can't see what I'm doing, but I kind of need to see what I'm doing. So I'm being selfish today. Can't tell. That's a little, oh, that's shit. That's the big end. See, most people would cut that. I'm not most people. I'm going to leave that in there. Because care I do not. Good time to invite you to like and subscribe. Largely an automotive channel, but you know, I just got to work on what I got to work on. That's all there is to it. You know, kind of like all those other YouTubers. What was it, Junkyard Digs? They just kind of do what they got to do that week. Like the tractors and stuff. So That's all I got going on right there. Nice and in there. All right, I ran the wire. You want to be mindful of the exhaust and the throttle and the governor stuff. Real technical there. Now, ideally, you'd want to clean all this and make it pretty, so that way the contact is good. However, it is better than what it was before, so I'm going to say it's good enough. Hey, how about that? There we go, that's snug. All right, well now I'm going to start it up and we're going to make sure that alternator isn't flopping and make sure that it is actually charging again. Hell yeah, look how stable that is. That is awesome. Excellent. Before that thing would just flop around. Please do not forget to install your battery safety shield. And that does it, guys. Been meaning to do that forever, and now it's finally done. And before, that alternator would just flop around on there and the belt would squeak, and it was terrible. So I'm down with that. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Oof to me.